So I'm talking to Joel and Jamila, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
we have
yeah.
Joel
you
and
doing?
Jamila. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. First of all, welcome here. And my name is Indra Bhushan. Hope I'm audible to you guys.
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Yeah. Jamila, are you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there's little echo, but it's okay.
Okay. So, just to tell you about myself, I'm in industry for last 15 years, and I'm working in a couple of banks, especially for RBS London, HSBC again UK, Wells Fargo in US, and India. I've been working for a couple of more banks. I'm primarily from data warehousing and BI. Now I'm working as one of the company called Genpact, and I'm working as a senior consulting manager and leading a couple of BI practices work. The corporate training I do just because of my passion is there to train people to make more resources in the industry. So nothing specific for financial stuff, just for a hobby I do. So welcome here. We'll talk about more in the OBIEE side, and we'll give you the background of OBIEE in terms of what we'll probably will cover in OBIEE section. So can I know what all background you have in data warehouse and BI side? If you probably know some of the BI tool before, or is it the first tool you're trying to go and get it?
Well, I have worked with Focus, BI tool, and I have worked extensively with BI package of SQL Server, Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the first tool.
I had a brief exposure with SAP Business Objects, and I was using it for little analysis, but I haven't used anything other than that. And I have basic knowledge of SQL, so that's the reason I'm kind of interested in getting detailed into OBIEE, because business objects, I heard that the market is saturated. And secondly, OBIEE seems to be is quite powerful in terms of a tool for data mining, extraction, and analysis. So, yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a next question. What is the expectation of this training?
For me,
Go ahead, Jamila.
Okay. I would like to see some of the feature of the BI, like some interface development, what options are available, and how to do a couple of this stuff like to create the dashboard and things like that. My backend data in SQL Server, so which is my expertise in T-SQL, any programming language. So front end, what is the OBIEE capable of, and what are the features available, and how to do a couple of the front end stuff. And that will be good for me.
How about you, Joel?
So I would be interested in knowing, how to, from scratch, how to create tables in OBIEE, how to create universes, how to extract. I mean, obviously extraction is an easy process, but how to interlink different tables, and essentially how to construct data models, if possible, using an ER diagram in Oracle, in OBIEE. Secondly, also using the various tools within Oracle, within OBIEE, to generate reports, either ad hoc or scheduled reports. And finally, as even Jamila said, dashboard creation, because I remember there was a way to create dashboards in SAP Business Objects, and probably I think there is even in Oracle Business Intelligence. Finally, I just want to be proficient in OBIEE, so much so that I can be a reporting analyst in any organization that uses OBIEE. Now, I'm not much of a developer because I do not have much of a technical background, but reporting is what I've done in the past. I've had exposure to it. So that's what I want to get from this course.
Okay, well and good. Thanks for answering the questions. Probably you're not offended to get these questions answered. The reason I wanted to know about the background is this is going to help me to really talk about more. Coming back to your syllabus and an OBIEE training, probably when you talk about OBIEE training, it's only talk about a business intelligence, that how you take out your data and put it in a dashboard and an ad hoc basis, or maybe in a fixed reporting. But a couple of places I think you spoke for a data modeling and an EI diagram. So I just wanted to let you know those are very separate training specific for data modeling. I may give you some of the data warehousing concepts as you can see here. Are you able to see my screen? I believe both you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
So we may talk about a bit of what is dimensional modeling, what is fact, what is dimension, what is slowly changing dimensions, and so on. But probably will not able to make you a complete data model for a designing aspects. That would be a very separate, I would say a data modeling training where specifically you're trying to understand a data, figure out and creating a tables, fact data, and the dimension data, going for hierarchy, and so on. But in OBIEE training for neck to net to understand how the dimension modeling works, what are the measures, what are the hierarchies, because if you know hierarchies and measures, then only you can go and create the hierarchies on the top of your reports or your dashboards. So just to give you an overview that we'll have a data warehousing concepts where you got to know more about data warehousing, how it works, what are the architecture of data warehouse. There are 2 architecture, 3 architecture, and there will be a couple of architecture where we have, talk about sourcing data, staging data, and the targeting data. There's also ETL plays in there where you're loading data from the ETL aspects. But here in OBIEE training, we're specifically talking only on BI side. Am I making sense to you guys? Are you able to, understood what I've said so far?
Okay. Yes. BI side. Good.
Okay, so here we'll talk about an OBIEE, on the application point of view, and definitely we talk about more on architecture and component. What are the architecture they have? What are the component and OBIEE has? So we're talking about Oracle OBIEE, which is 11G, the latest version. We can go for a 6. So there would be a area we have to look into. There would be a part. So one area we have to importantly knowing is called a metadata modeling, which is one of the important part I would say. So metadata modeling is one of the important aspects where what you're doing is probably what you're taking your tables information and having your query together, making a joins and creating hierarchies, putting your dimensions, putting your facts together, you're creating an aggregate levels, OLAP and so on. So primarily what you're doing, all the kind of a homework to produce to develop a dashboard. This is the area you create, and that's known as a repository actually. So in OBIEE, we do not call universe as an SAP BO. We call repository here, and so the repository will have your physical layer where you get your data in tables inside. Then you have a business layer where you do a modeling where you have a business logic there. Using aggregations, you have a partitioning, you have a variables, and so on. It also has security and cache modeling. So we'll cover more. Then we have answers and dashboards. So here we have actually a place where you're making an BI application for the answers and dashboards. That's the important part. So I'll take you to the presentation where we'll probably talk about more here in detail here. So
Indra, I have a question. Have you done OBIEE from SQL Server?
Yeah, definitely. SQL Server is one of the source. So OBIEE is basically a BI tool which is a presenting of your dashboard and reports. It can take any data, whether it's from a flat file, no matter if it's SQL Server, it takes from SAP BO and SAP ERP and as well as Oracle ERP. So as I said, it's a presentation layer. You're presenting your data in form of your dashboard and ad hoc reporting. It can take data from many sources, even a flat file.
Okay. So I'm actually working a couple of the basic reports since I don't have much exposure. So I want to know, can you use store procedure of SQL Server with Oracle?
Yeah, definitely you can do it. Have your source coming in and then you do your formatting, and then after do a repository, metadata, and then after you probably do your reporting. So we'll talk about a bit of, we'll talk about here in 3 sections in this demo. We'll talk about a little bit of introduction, then we talk about repository development, and then we talk about answers and dashboards.
Okay.
So after these 3 sections, yeah, please, after these sections, you will be able to make it, number 1, you can able to make your repository, and number 2, any kind of source system, as I said, SQL Server is one of them, flat file, SAP adapter. Number 3, you can able to make answers and dashboard, you can ad hoc them, you can schedule them, right? it automatically gets your email in the morning in your inbox, and you can get your reports done in the morning at the input itself. So and this is an area, once you do all the stuff, you can be able to make a project in OBIEE itself. And we'll carry out a project at the end of the session. So introduction part, we'll talk about an overview, architecture, component, and key features. Do let me know if you have any questions, raise your hand, or you can just interrupt me in between. So when you talk about a repository development, what we do basically, we go and create a physical layer. So when you talk about a repository, there will be 3 layers. One is physical, another is the business layer, and third is the presentation layer. So what happens? Physical layer, you take out your tables, you create your joins. That's all. Whereas the business layer, you create your hierarchies, you have your aggregation level, you have your facts, and all this summary data. Presentation layer, how you want to present, because what happens if you're loading a data, EMP_MST or EMP_DTL, your end user do not understand what is EMP. We understand employee, right? Any business people will not understand a technical name, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so the presentation layer where it gives you an opportunity to have the same business data or a physical data into a business languages. So you write hierarchies, do not write hierarchy, you write, okay, you talk about geography. So when you write geography, people understand. So let's say you talk about a North America, South America. So if you're looking for a sales, you can go for a North America sales and South America sales. And you could aggregate with the America. When you click on America, it takes the total, right? So those kind of things you do in the presentation layer. You have a testing and validation. You create logical table altogether. So there would be table where they have a data physically, but you can also create a kind of alias which is similar to the table. It is just kind of a view. So it is the best practices you follow to create alias which helps you to calculate everything. You will have a calculation, no doubt, because if you have 2 columns, you wanted to create some additions, calculations, aggregations. So those we can do it here. Then you have a creating a dimension where you can have hierarchy, which is a level based. You have a partitioning fragments and repository variables. So when you create a repository, you might be creating. I'll give you one example, very simple. When you load dashboard, when you go and see your report, you're from finance, I'm from sales. So when I log in, I should see only the sales report. When you log in, you should see only this finance report. Okay. On that scenario, we'll have a session variable. A repository variable will have a session variable, especially a user ID specific. So there will be security already implemented. There will be modeling time series. Now, when you talk about time series, what is time series? You must have heard that as of today, maybe you talk about your quarter data, but you probably want to see as of today, as of week, as of today, as of year, as of month. So those are time series. So this is what you get when you have your financial data. You want to see it as of date, right? Which is very important. So you have a modeling with the time series. You got a security and cache management. For example, while cache is required, if you have your table data is already there, and if you want to see the same calculated one all the time, so your cache will help us. It loads into cache, it shows you from there itself. But if you want to get actual data from the backend and whatever calculation takes place on fly, you can take out your cache. There's a cache management where you can push in and push out. Security element implemented, as we have already said, you can have some security model there where you can do your user groups and everything is come in place. You have administration user tracking. So when you have people working on the same, you will have a multi-user development, so that if you have, let's say, working in a sales and finance and so other dashboard, so you can have same 3 environment working together, and you can later on consolidate the same repository. So one RPD, 10 people can work together. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Indra,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I have a question.
Yeah.
When you said like in the initial part of it, physical layer of a repository.
Yeah.
How many layers do we have? We have a physical layer. We have a logical layer. What else do we have?
So we have a physical layer where you're importing all the tables from your backend. Okay. You got a BMA, which is called business model and mapping, where you create your hierarchies and all your facts, aggregated facts, and then you have a final presentation layer. How you want to present to the customer. So in dashboard, whatever you will have in presentation, you can see. You cannot see a physical and business layer. You see only a presentation layer.
Okay.
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 So there would be three
kind
layers: physical, business, and presentation.
Okay, so kind of like backend staging and presentation. Staging.
You talk about, yeah, it is an ETL term what you're talking about, but basically when you come to a repository, it has a physical where you're having actual table joining in. It's a metadata. It never takes the actual table, to be very honest. It takes some metadata, a table's information.
Okay. Okay.
And VMM you create your hierarchies and create your fact tables and so on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm hearing.
Okay, thank you.
So you are also okay.
Go ahead.
So I have the dashboard that I'm creating that has a group like GVP, like Global Vice President. So Global Vice President should be able to look into particular members. So I can assign security based on the person's responsibility. So one person will not be able to see the other person's dashboard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have a session variable in OBIEE. So what happens in database? You have a user ID who is the data. So when you log in, it takes only the user data. For example, an employee information, right? So when you want to see your salary, you see only your salary, right? You cannot see other salary. So it has a security implementation. You have to do in RPD level. So there would be two levels. One level is RPD, right? Before that, there's one more level from a database side. Then you have a RPD level, and third you will have a dashboard level.
Okay.
So there are reports which you make it specifically for a user. You can go and assign them a report to see only those users can see that reports.
Okay.
Okay.
And on the dashboard front end, do you need to do any programming in Java or some other language?
Well, it is not. It has an application dashboard itself. So you simply drag and drop and create the dashboard. If you want a specific feature, let's say you want to see a different, let's say you have a company dashboard and logos coming. So that's an opportunity where the place you have to go and make your look and feel changes. But yes, you have an opportunity to have some of your JHTML or VB script because an HTML. This is an HTML, by the way. So you can go and make modification if needed.
Oh, okay.
But it's not mandated, to be honest.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, in web focus, I used to do focus programming as well as like SQL programming, and front end I used to write Java script. So I just wonder whether those features are available.
Right. As of now, it's not needed. But at time, I saw you a couple of times where customer had a specific requirement that I want to see this graphs, red, green, and yellow color, which is not feasible. So somebody go and do the coding for it.
Okay.
Okay. So the third part,
Indra, just to ask you, see, to know OBIEE and stuff, I know SQL is important, but what about the other languages like Java or anything like how Jamila said? Is that important, necessary?
As I said, you don't need to go much about any programming language. This already has a pre-built application. So what you have to do is you have to just make a repository, and then you have to simply go and get your answers. Answer you have to drag and drop and do your filter parameters, and you create your dashboard. That's all.
Okay, fine. So because for non-technical people, that's the main thing. Cool.
It's a completely. I'm also non-technical, by the way.
Okay.
So just kidding. As far as non-technical person is easy, it has a drag and drop, and you can create that.
Okay.
Okay, so working with Oracle Business Answers, you simply request in the BI answer where you can go and drag and drop. You can create a chart. You can have a pivot table. You have an interactive dashboard where you can configure the interactiveness in terms of year, quarter, month selection. Once you select, everything will be impacted. You got OBIEE presentation catalog. What we call OBIEE in technical language, we call it catalog. So anything you work in reports and dashboard that stores in catalog itself. We have Oracle Business Intelligence delivered. So if let's say you have scheduled a report on 10 o'clock early in the morning. So Oracle BI delivers that works is deliver with your reports on your email ID. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going, this is what is 11G overall. If you talk about, it's a web service-oriented architecture that integrates, information technology, and it has a total ROI. That's the business language altogether. So OBIEE basically in a business intelligence deliver a full range of capability, which has a dashboard, ad hoc query, notification, alert, and also a scorecard going further. So this is what the architecture of OBIEE.
Indra, will we be getting any reference material like this PowerPoint or anything just for reference?
So I'll give you complete material from company, from Oracle. I was a part of Oracle for 9 months. So I was a part of Oracle BIC pre-sales. So I have a full range of material which you cannot get outside.
Okay, great.
It's only with me. You cannot get it outside because I worked with Oracle for 9 months.
Okay. Cool.
Oracle purposely called me up I was in South Africa, Johannesburg for 3 years. People have called me up in India. So they have given me a lot of opportunity for Oracle BI space. So don't worry in that case.
Okay.
I have not given you my background. I'll give you at the end of the training, the demo session. Then you'll get to know. We'll get good background of your material and experiences. Don't worry.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, so let's come back to the OBIEE architecture. So you can see here, Jamila, for your example, you can see in the latest stage of different data sources: Oracle, SAP, Siebel, PeopleSoft, ADW, and any other databases.
Okay.
So when we have something, we have a DAC, basically a data warehouse administration tool, which is used for a scheduling, for doing an ETL. So we have extraction, staging, loading process, and data warehouse model. So this is the direct access. You can directly access, or you can do by ETL itself. So here we have Oracle BI server. You can see the physical map. You can see there are logical subject area, and you can see there are metrics, which will be presenting finally. Okay. Here we have a presentation services, where we have a report, analysis, analytic workflows, and you have a dashboards. Okay, so it's a highly parallel execution. You can get your data loading as well. You can show your dashboard together at the same time. So you can see that a based dashboard. You can have with the roles. You can have a security. You can have alerts. A lot of calculation you can do. You can even have a stored procedure also, and dynamic SQL generation is also there. So this is all about the architecture. Any query here?
Okay, I have a question for you though.
Please.
So, I mean, if like backend, I will do SQL Server, or we have some other Teradata to whatever. I will not worry too much about it. But in the when it comes to the Oracle data OBIEE, so any query that we will write, it has to be written in the PL SQL, right?
No. To answer your question, you don't have to write any query. What you have to do is you drag and drop, and you simply doing a metadata modeling. So you have a query there itself. So you let's for example, you have a salary and commission. So you create a third column called total, and you say salary plus commission. So it automatically creates the query.
Oh, okay.
Right? It's a tool specific.
Yeah. Is there any way I can see backend SQL that is generating?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can also modify if needed.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
One thing is that there is lots of red tape in my current organization, and the IT is trying to control the software, so they have not given me full feature so that I can do lots of work or see.
Okay.
So I'm working on it.
No problem.
Yeah, and what is PSFT? What is PSFT, Indra?
Can you come again, Vijay? That's a PeopleSoft. Talk about this.
PeopleSoft. Yeah.
Yeah.
PeopleSoft.
You talk about that? Yeah, it's a PeopleSoft.
Okay.
These are Oracle now. Oracle, Siebel, PeopleSoft, they're now single company.
Okay. They've been purchased by Oracle, I guess.
Yeah. Even Java Sun is also purchased 6 years before. So Oracle is a big company now.
Okay.
Coming back to the component, what all component do you have? So don't go for the Hyperion extreme. You are here. So Oracle BI will have answers. Interactive dashboard, we have a deliver. You have a disconnected analytics. you got a BIEE publisher, and then you have a briefing, and then you got a BIEE server with the internet. So these are the components. I'll talk about more here. So BIEE server is the engine where it executes the server in all the BIEE applications. Answer is the reporting ad hoc tool. Interactive is a dashboard where you create a dashboard. Deliver is the alert where you can alert and notify. Disconnected analytics, that if you are not connected to the Oracle BIEE server, this one, you can still work on your analysis. BIEE publisher is something like relational reporting, which was a traditional reporting like a crystal report. Briefing move is saving some of the important data like a bookmarks. So this is what the component has. This is more detail what we spoken before, the component.
Okay,
if
so
you want,
I have one more question. We have some automated report, right, in XcelFrameworks. So I can eventually put all of them in OBIEE, right?
Yeah, definitely, you can.
So, and I can put it as a separate, not as a part of the dashboard.
No, you have the BIEE publisher. You can see here. The component is an enterprise reporting and distribution tool where reports designed for MS Word, Adobe Acrobat, and can be delivered by printer, email, fax, and web app or published to a portal. Okay.
Okay.
So any relational data or reporting can be done by this BIEE publisher. So if needed, I'll also send you this PPT later on to go through it, and you have more clarity. If you want, you can go through it a number of times.
Okay.
Fine. I'll speak to Sarup, and then after Sarup permission, we'll give it to you later on.
Okay.
Once you join the course.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the key features, as I already spoken. You can see that. Disconnected alert, MS Office. It has a mobile support, so you can create an something like mobile BI. Interactive dashboard, ad hoc analysis. The OLAP servers we have. Then you got a geographical, especially for maps can be integrated in your, portal. You can have scorecard and strategic management for KPIs. Repository directory, as I said, we have a physical, we have a DMM, and we have a presentation layer. So you can set the represent physical structure for data sources to which BIEE server submits query. Represent a logical structure of your information repository. Basically here you create all your logical tables, joins, then hierarchies and all. And here representing the presentation structure to the repository, this allows you to present a view from a business model mapping. It is displayed to left panel of administration tool. So basically these all are important. So here a user can see presentation layer. A user cannot see these two layers. User can only see this one. Okay, so user can see only this layer. Okay. So this is the tool which I was talking about, administration tool. You can see the physical layer here. So you can see the physical layer.
Yeah.
You can connect with your databases and get your table. You can see your business MM, which is you can have business model and mapping. Where you can see you have your fact, you can have your dimension. You can see that dim and fact written here. This is dim, this is fact. And finally, you come here to presentation. So you can see that the language you've written, interface, package, session. All right, making sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have answers and dashboards. Here we go. So here is the answer. This is the welcome page, the start page. Once you open the answer, this is how it looks like. So you can have a create where you can have a dashboard, you can create a report, you can create a scorecard, and so on.
Can
so
I
this
see
is
some
what
of the okay, this is a sample report.
Can you come again, Trevor?
I said I wanted to see some of the sample data that we have.
Yeah, here we go. So this is what we have. You can see that if all the tabs, KPI test, so on, and you can see that different. You can have this images coming in. You can see that graphs coming in.
Can you drill down?
No, this is a picture. I cannot show you the actual demo because I'm not logged in the OBIEE server.
Okay.
So once you are in the complete, maybe a first skill class or something, or you want a little further, we can go ahead and that case in other classes. The demo class will have kind of syllabus and talk about this presentation.
Okay.
Because I'm already in office, I cannot log in at this stage actually, honestly speaking. So any questions so far? I'll just give you my background bit of, just to make you little.
Can you actually have such colorful reports developed out of OBIEE? Because
yes, sir.
I mean that's okay. That's yeah.
So this is what the dashboard. You can see the tabs. You can see that different colors, and you can have a chart. You can have images.
Can you bring Flash and things like that? Automation, animation.
Can you come again, Jamila?
I said, can you bring Flash animation in OBIEE?
You can do that with the coding. That is not needed, although we already have, but we can do it if needed. But probably this is not required. This is a dashboard, a BI dashboard. So a BI people, especially CEO and CTO, they do not need a jazzy. They need a numbers. They need a revenue, right? Okay. So it's not a normal ETL report. HTML report. It is more than that. It is a dashboard. Okay. So people, especially when you create a business intelligence, you normally create for senior management and above, right? You do not create for a manager or a ETL developer or for me and you. It is always
we do it for the global vice president or CEO, things like that.
Yeah, so those people, they're worried more about numbers than a genuineness. But still you can do that, don't worry. Okay, so.
And Indra, is how to pronounce your name?
Can you come again?
Indra, right? Yeah. So you are going to allow us download the course. OBIEE in our computer, right?
Yeah. I think that can be done. So do not worry in that case. Everything gonna be there. What kind of help probably?
Yeah, we'll help you install the software on your machine.
Okay.
Okay.
So I just trying to tell you of myself is probably I have worked close to 14-15 years in IT. I've been working close to 18 technologies in BI and DW. So talk about ETL, Informatica, Pentaho, SAP BI, DO, and also the Oracle BI. And SAS BI. So probably I do a lot of modeling, I do client engagement, I do proposal pre-sales, I do consulting and delivery.
Okay.
So probably I can give you actual business cases when we actually go for a demo. And another thing, Swaroop is the actual guy. He is coordinating everything. He is the company. So he'll help you in all your documents and presentations.